Wicks and Braden Campbell. Harry Morrison gets a late reprieve. We'll run through the rest of those changes shortly. We're just about set for a start. Brendan Jonty Rhodes with you at Piranha Park. Paul Elvish is beside me. We'll hear from him very shortly as the umpire prepares to set us underway with Callum Sinclair up against Adam Swisbalek. A beautiful bounce in the centre. Sinclair won it down. Roberts tries to go through for the Swans. Flicked the hand pass out. It was too hot for Stevens. Arriving off half-back is Rankin. Kick to half forward for the Swans. Good pick up there, Reid. Got it back to Shipley, who gave it to him in the first place. Little kick was partially smothered. Towards half forward it goes. Picked up for the Lions. Clearing ball comes back out towards the wing, but Gould's in the front spot. Has it knocked away from him. Ground level ball here. O'Connor taken away. Gathered for the Lions. That looked like it might have been Charlie Thompson at the base of that pack. Stevens wrapped him up, and it will be a ball up. It was Nelson, in fact, at the base there for Coburg. McAndrew, in fact, in the ruck up against Sinclair. As the ball's flicked out wide by Taylor, Shipley gets it back to Taylor. Goes towards half forward. Good kick. Diving, sliding mark from McLean back into the VFL today. Gave it back to Taylor. Runs to 60. Kicks towards full forward. Good looking kick. Sinclair couldn't take the mark. Trying to get through as a Marty. Flicked the hand pass back. This is Sinclair again. Slaps it into advantage. Trying to get through as Warren. Can't do so. Gathered by Sheether. Tumbles a kick towards goal. Off the ground goes Clark, and he might have put it through. First goal for the Swans to Ryan Clark.
Well done. Good afternoon, everybody. And just better mention that Sam Lawson's 50th game today, and he won the toss, and Coburg are kicking towards the city end. Fantastic passage of play then by Sydney. They look quite tall up forward there today, and the perfect conditions today will certainly suit that. 17
AFL listed players for the Swans, so it's a tall order for Coburg this afternoon. The Swans, 3 wins and 3 losses, Elvo. All 3 wins here in Melbourne, all 3 losses in Sydney. So they've brought decent teams down here to take them on.
They have. In Coburg, both these teams had the bye last week, and Coburg before that had 2 very heavy losses. So really looking forward to them to coming back today and having a real crack.
As you mentioned, 50 VFL games today for Sam Lawson. Congratulations to him. He's been a fine player in the forward line for the Lions, doing the captaincy role today in his 50th game. We'll look at the rest of the Swans changes shortly as McAndrew, mid-season pick last year, won the tap. Roberts is prolific in the middle, got it out to Stevens. He fires it inside 50. The tall timber's got a chance again. Amadi has it knocked away from him, or was McLean. And we've got a whistle on play here. Which way is this one going?
Too high.
High tackle, and it's going to be a free to the Swans. And it'll be Callum Sinclair who kicks around the corner from the goal square, and the Swans have 2 inside the first 3 minutes.
Out of the centre, straight at the forward-line goal. Pretty silly tackle there, mate. Came in over the top. It's quite obvious that that was going to be paid too high.
Well, the Swans have got Sinclair, Reid, Amati and McLean in the forward line.
Pretty imposing.
And the Lions, well, Jack Maybaum, who was unlucky, I thought, to lose his spot on the Swans list a couple of years ago, just didn't get a good run at it with injury. He's the only tall defender down there, with Harry Nolan being out with a hamstring injury, so it's a really tall order for the Lions back line. Literally.
Going to be very, very tough, especially if Sydney get out of the centre like that every time.
Lockie McAndrew might get more of a run in the ruck just to stretch that Coburg defence, and he goes forward and kicks goals as well. As Swisbalek wins the tap, I should say. Shipley takes it straight out of the middle, inside 50 again, just thumped away by Warren, out towards open spaces, gathered there for the Lions by Jepson. He's under the pump, not breaking clear. We'll have a ball up.
Just trying to find where Sam Reid's lined up, Jonty.
Is it centre half forward at the moment?
Forward, yep. There he is.
So certainly attacking the Swans with the tall timber, as Roberts fed it up to Clark. Bombs it into the pocket, but it's going to float wide, and it'll be out of bounds on the full. Maybaum will get the free kick for Coburg.
And also trying to find Ben Ronke as well.
He's in the pocket, forward pocket there, as the kick back into play comes to Lachlan Walker, wearing the helmet after some concussion issues at Box Hill. Here go the Lions through the centre of the ground. It was booted forward there by Gentile, but it's going to be chopped off, and they've got height in defence too, the Swans, with Melican. And he goes out to Roberts, who goes towards half forward for Reid. Swings around onto the right boot. Sam Reid drives it deep, long and beautiful, and Sinclair marks in the square.
Nothing a defender can do about that when you get it in quick, and a beautiful kick.
And already this is starting to look very dangerous for the Lions.
Absolutely. Coburg look quite small up forward too, Jonty.
They are quite short, Coburg, which is a surprise. They do have some injuries, but they did recruit very tall this year. As Sinclair boots his second goal, and the Swans are out to a 3-goal lead already.
Yeah, it does look communist, doesn't it, at the moment? Coburg got it out of the middle there before, but the poor kick for the turnover. So
yeah, the Lions recruited, I think, of the 16 players they recruited, 13 were 195 centimetres or taller.
Wow.
But most of them are not playing today.
Makes it hard.
Whether they're injured or just not getting a game, I'm not sure. They've got Mitch Padashki playing at full back when he's usually a very dangerous half-forward flanker. Actually, Alex Lukic is down at full forward. He's playing his second game today. The 196-centimetre youngster came into the squad with the long-term injury to Sam McClarty, who would have been out there and important as well. As we see Roberts get wrapped up. One of the Swans' early draft picks last year.
Lukic is good old Oakley Chargers boy.
He is. 196 centimetres, 85 kilos. Did kick a goal on debut last week. As the kick goes out towards the wing, it'll be put forward there eventually by Stevens on the left boot after receiving from Fox. High ball towards Amati. He's got a great pair of hands. Gets a free kick on this occasion. He takes the ball at its highest point, Joel Amati. Swings around and spears it inside 50, and Reid's got it this time.
A beautiful leap then from Amati as well.
This is really dangerous for Coburg. The Swans' tall timber is all over them at the moment, and that's exactly how they beat Werribee 2 weeks ago with the height, and Port Melbourne indeed a couple of weeks before that. But they did lose at home to the Northern Bull Ants. That day they didn't have the height. None of them were there. As Sam Reid kicks as straight as an arrow, and it's 4-0 in 7 minutes.
Coburg have to do something here and do it very, very quickly. As it's obvious, Sydney's tall timber are just dominating at the moment in the first few minutes of this game.
Yeah, it is a concern now. Padashki coming off for a rest, as is Tom McKenzie, and they're two of your key defenders, really, and they're sitting at 192 and 186. Come on. $24-0. And we haven't ticked to 8 minutes yet in the first quarter as McAndrew wins the tap. Taylor has his handball slapped down. Here goes Lawson. Can he break clear? He does. Tumbles a kick inside 50. First forward foray for Coburg. Slapped down there by the Swans in O'Connor. And we've got a push in the back here, and it's a free kick to Coburg.
Good stuff.
And the Lions will get a shot at goal, and it will be young Alex Lukic playing his second game of footy.
He went in hard then, tapped the ball forward, really wanted that footy and deserved the free kick then.
Second game of VFL footy, I should say. I always hate it when I'm watching the AFL and I hear them say first game of footy or first goal in footy. It's not, because they've been playing footy for probably 15 years before they get there.
Exactly.
So Alex Lukic, 1 game, 1 goal last week, 2 weeks ago up in Brisbane. They had the bye last week, of course, Coburg. As Lukic comes in, very similar to Logan McDonald, that little step, as he puts the kick on its way, and it's a beautiful kick. It just faded at the last second and hit the post 3/4 of the way from the top.
Unlucky. He has got a very interesting run up there.
Yeah, very similar to McDonald, who was kicking beautifully last night until he had to start to rush a few. Kick back into play. Took 10 marks, McDonald, last night.
Wow.
As the ball goes back inside 50 there for the Lions from Walker, but it's been marked safely for the Swans. Looks like it is O'Connor, the Irishman, who sends it long back down towards the wing. Thumped to ground by Maybaum. Walker, bunker, His hand pass might be chopped off. Amati lays a tackle, brought the footy free. Sibbald wraps his man up, but it's push in the back, says the umpire, against Eden Sibbald. And the free kick will go to Morrison, who's the late inclusion for the Swans. Another dangerous forward is Harry Morrison. Played some footy in the SANFL, over 50 games at this level too. As Baddeley Kelly chops it off on this occasion. Moves it on quickly to Max Thompson. He misses Bunker with the handball. That might create a problem. Roberts goes underground. Dodging, weaving. Under the pump there is Anderson. He's lost possession of the football. Quick hand pass came out from Charlie Thompson. Gentile might come back to Thompson. It does through the hands of Boucher. He's under the pump. Caught. Just got a hand pass away. Had to give it away about 30 metres backwards. Bunker tracks it. Gives up some more ground to Maybaum. Into Baddeley Kelly. They are feeling the pressure here, Coburg. Little chip from McLean inside 50. But that's a good effort there for the Lions. It's taken by Coriliano. Moves it across quickly to McAvoy, who's had to go back. Jepson to the wing. Swizbalek knocked away from him by Bartholomeus, the captain of the Swans. Handball back came from Collis to Taylor. Inboard ball, that is lovely. Finds Anderson by hand to Stevens. Across he goes to Clark. Building is Ryan Clark. Kicks to half forward. Oh, Baddeley Kelly read it beautifully. Picked it off and then came away from McLean. Hand pass inboard. Max Thompson goes back to Bunker. His kick is not good. Creates some work for Boucher, but he's up to the task. Long ball towards the wing. Thumped away by O'Connor. Front and centre is Stevens. He goes back towards half forward. Bunker by hand. Charlie Thompson swings onto the left boot. Kicks it out wide. Good vision. Finds the brother in Max.
A much better play from Coburg there. They've really got to get their run-on game started, though.
So Max Thompson in his 4th VFL game. Younger brother of Charlie. Brings the kick forward, but Sinclair is doing it at both ends and takes the mark at centre-half back. But it's a free kick being picked out for shepherding. And it's going to Coburg, and it's going to Eden Sibbald.
Not very often they pay that, Jonty.
He started on a tear against Box Hill here about 3 weeks ago with 3 goals in the first 15 minutes, Eden Sibbald. This kick from 55 is going right to the line. Gould back with the flight of the ball, thumps it through for a rush behind to the Lions.
That's Swizbalek. He's a big boy.
He is a big unit. They missed him badly last year. Coburg, he broke his ankle against Frankston in round 1, missed the rest of the season, and I would say that was the difference between them making and missing the finals. Yep. If the finals had gone ahead, of course.
Yep.
As Stevens marks the ball back into play. His kick not great. Clark to Roberts. Twinkle toes around a couple. Boots it up towards the wing. Tracking it back is McAvoy. He's going to think about going backwards, then decided to turn around and give it to Maybaum. He will go backwards, trying to find a loose man. He does in Jepson. Back in the side today. Goes to Coriliano. Coburg still happy to take the ball on with their deep defenders pushing up the ground. Coriliano drives it to the wing and Melican fists it away with authority.
Nearly took out people in the interchange box there. Just a question for you, Jonty, and for our listeners as well. I noticed that over the years, Sydney have had quite a few players come through from Sydney University. Is that like a feeder club to the academy?
It's not, but it is sort of the closest. There and University of New South Wales Eastern Suburbs are the 2 closest clubs, and UTS Bats. So the 3 universities are pretty close, but the Sydney Uni does provide a lot. They were in the NEFL for a number of years too, so they were the next level down.
Sure.
As we see Mackenzie get wrapped up, he took him on and lost. So that was a very nice tackle that by Corey Warner. And he will run with no one on the mark and send it towards Amati at full forward, and he couldn't quite, but he's picked up the loose ball at the back, steps around one and kicks a magnificent goal.
Fantastic.
Coriliano just caught over committing, and big men aren't supposed to turn on a dime like that.
No, he kept his feet, and he didn't take the mark, kept the feet, was able to kick the goal. He's a real talent.
He's a very good player, but the Swans have plenty of tall forwards at the moment anyway.
Yep. Absolutely. He's recruited from Bo Morris, I see.
Yes, another one of that from the Bo Morris Footy Factory through the Sandy Dragons.
Yep.
There's a couple out there. Hayden McLean is another.
Yes.
And the talk is about Liam Reedy potentially following them. He's doing good things at Frankston at the moment.
He is. I did read an article the other day. I think you might have written that one, Jonty.
No, Paul Amey gets the credit for that one, the great man. He'll be... I think he's down at Phillip Island today for a big day down there. All abilities day they're having down there with Bo Vernon as the coach.
Oh, fantastic.
As the Swans come away through Lewis Taylor, and his kick will be chopped off by that is Walker. So Lockie Walker. Good to see him back playing footy, playing his 5th game this year. Only got 3 in last year for Box Hill because of his injury issues. Cariliano, good hand pass. Here's a chance for Silvestro from 50. Lovely kick. Lukic on the line, kicks the goal.
Great bit of play, best bit of play we've seen all day from Coburg. I said to you earlier, Tom Silvestro, he's a quality player. I'm really surprised he never, a lot of VFL players have been able to, late in their careers, come through and have good AFL careers. He's one of them, and I just reckon he was so unlucky. He played a lot of games at Richmond and very, very unlucky not to get a go. To
be honest with you, fairly or unfairly, there's probably 2 numbers there on his page that are the reason.
Age?
No, the 2 next to it. Height and weight.
Height and weight, yeah.
179 and 78. Caleb Daniel and guys like that have proven that you don't have to be big to play AFL footy. And Daniel's 10 centimetres shorter than that, and he's a quality player.
Yep.
If you can get the ball and use the ball, it shouldn't matter if you're short or light.
I agree.
And Silvestro is a good player on his day, as Taylor is absolutely tearing them up in the middle with Roberts. This kick was not good, taken by Padashki to Walker, who's had a good start for Coburg. Got it inboard to McKenzie, who goes out towards the wing. Dintinasante has a chance here. He's got a couple to beat. Desperation. He almost got it away from Sheether. He's sent the handball awry. Gould back to Stevens. Around the corner he goes. Long ball back towards the wing. McLean too strong, but then dropped the chest mark. Got it off to Morrison. He goes inboard. Lovely pass. Finds Ronk. Inside 50. That is absolutely gorgeous. Running onto it is Anderson. Handball over the top. And the Swans have got another one. And that was brilliant football.
The old-fashioned saying, that was absolute champagne football, wasn't it? That ball movement was just absolutely brilliant. And elite skills, kicking skills to hit people on the chest like that. You can't stop that.
Ben Ronk, absolutely magnificent kick that was. And Angus Anderson, who was the highly rated academy pick at the end of last year, who was surprisingly not taken in the draft or the rookie draft for the Swans, the boy from Sawtell up near Coffs Harbour. He's moved down to Sydney this year and is playing in and out of the VFL at the moment as he develops his game, but certainly he's one to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. Got a bit of pace about him.
Yes, he gets along. Angus Anderson, captain New South Wales, I think captain the Allies as well, although I could be corrected on that one last year. As Taylor takes it out of the middle once again, goes up towards half forward. Padashki might have been held there. Umpire said no. Thumped away by Maybaum. Padashki tracks it. He's under the pump there from Collis. And the former Casey Demon sees it over the line for a throw in.
Coburg have just got to stick with them here. Just can't let Sydney get away. They can just stick with them to the end of this quarter and they can rebuild at quarter time.
Is there much of a breeze out there? It doesn't seem to be. If there is, the Swans might have it. As we see Swizbalek won it down, Gentile. Now it comes to Boucher through the hands of Gillard. They're gone. Anderson. Angus Anderson lays a brilliant tackle and it's not paid.
Great defensive pressure.
So it'll be a ball up inside 50 for the Swans. McLean, won however by Swizbalek, taken by Shipley, came back to Rankin. 57 draft pick, spears it inside and Reed's got it again.
Too experienced, too strong. We were saying before the game when I asked you the questions, and for our Sydney listeners, I'm really surprised that Ben Ronk is out there.
He was playing pretty well, but he was forced out of the team by Sam Wicks. And it seems that they are fighting for one spot as Reed swings it back on the breeze, but not enough. So the first blemish on the board for the Swans. 6:1:37 plays 1:28 at the 19-minute mark.
I'm sure that Ronk won't be out here for too much longer, mate. I reckon in a couple of weeks' time he'll be straight back in.
There's a push out here against Melican. It's taken by Lukic. Kicks up to half forward, looking for Max Thompson. Backing himself is Gould. Tapped it to McAndrew. Sent it back the way it came. Here's Ronk. Under pressure from Mackenzie. Mackenzie bumps him off the ball, tracks it towards the line, and is happy to see it roll over. The difference between the two, I think, Ronk is the genuine goal-kicking small forward. Wicks is the tackling small forward, who doesn't necessarily kick big goals.
Yes.
And that seems to be more popular for the Swans when they've got the big forwards there. And Ronk got his chance when Wicks was suspended or injured. Might have been injured for a couple of weeks.
Yep.
And Wicks has forced his way back in after a couple of games in the VFL.
After last night's performance, you would think Sydney would probably make a couple of changes.
Well, that second quarter was very ordinary. Carlton was outstanding.
Yes.
After that, however, the Swans really showed what they're capable of when they play footy. Will Gould on half-back. This game's more important to us at the moment, however. Rankin to Taylor. Gets a hand pass over the top. Taken away there by Shipley inside 50. Didn't look that time, and the mark is taken by McAvoy. And the centre half forward is playing at full back, which says a lot about how they're going as we see Warner worry his man out of the ball. Got it back to Sheether, who had a back problem 2 weeks ago, but has got over that. Inside 50, Amadi worked off the ball by McAvoy. Padashki back to McAvoy. Brings it back to the wing. Baddeley Kelly flies. Couldn't quite bring the mark down. Warner tries to ferret it out of there. Did by boot. Going underground is Rankin. The umpire's going to decide he dived on it. Is he? No, he's going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. Could have paid that.
Could have went either way. Could have been a push in the back as well. But once it wasn't a push in the back, it probably could have been holding the ball.
Yes.
As we see Sybil try to get through. Charlie Thompson's handball is sharked by Rankin. This kick not good though, and Padashki marks for Coburg. Sends it backwards to the defensive goal square. McAvoy out wide to Boucher. And former Hawk. Box Hill Hawk up to the wing and finds Max Thompson. Running for him is Maybaum. Sends it to half forward. Melican will get there in front of Lukic. Handball over the top to Gould. Sizes it up and gives the handball to Sheether to Ronk. Long ball towards half forward. A big push there from Sinclair, and it'll be a free kick to Trent Warren.
If you're going to do it, try and hide it, Jonty.
There was no real attempt to hide, and right in front of the umpire too. So Warren, great to see him back playing footy as well, as Gould fists it away from Boucher.
Yeah, they've been able to sort of hold in the last few minutes, Coburg, and the last two entries by Sydney have been sprayed a bit and haven't really had a look, have they?
They've lifted their pressure in the middle of the ground a bit, which is putting more pressure on that kick coming forward for Sydney in the last 5 minutes. McAndrew is uncontested in the ruck here, takes it out, but was unable to give it back to Roberts, and it'll be thrown back in.
Yeah, as you said before, there's not much of a breeze. It sort of comes and goes, and it's not very heavy.
Yeah, it's just when the Swans manage to find any sort of space to work in, the delivery inside 50 has just been quality mostly. Roberts changed his mind and gave it back to Clark. His kick should find Reed, but Padashki over the top did well. Front and centre, Shipley, blind turn. Handball's back too hot for Clark, and then he slips over at the crucial stage and it trickles over the line.
Not a bad crowd here, Ivor, Jonty, and quite a few Sydney supporters.
Yeah, the Lions do get out and support their team, and the Swans. Yep, I did say before we went on air, it surprised me that both Werribee and Port Melbourne earlier this year scheduled games at the same time as the AFL team, which probably cost them a couple of hundred supporters. As the kick inside 50 is marked by Reed. He's probably got half a dozen already, I reckon, Sam Reed. We'll bring up the numbers for you, Elvo. As Reed brought it backwards and found Taylor. And he'll go short back to where it came for Clark. Chips it inside 50. Bunker gets a fist in there. Fox with a chance. Threw it over his head. Umpire said it was okay. Ronk to Shipley to Clark. Back to Taylor from 47. Sizes up the goals. Kicks towards the square. And it's off hands from Sinclair and through for a behind.
Just having a look now. Taylor's had 10 disposals, Stevens 9, Roberts 7, just looking at the marks. Reed's taken 4 marks.
11 now, that last one for Lewis Taylor, so he's certainly in everything at the moment. Long ball back into play from Baddeley Kelly, thumped away by Rankin, and it'll be a boundary throw in around the grounds. It's half time in the other 2 games going on at the moment, and Southport in control against Port Melbourne. They're 8-7-55 to the Borough 2-5-17 at ETU Stadium, and Gold Coast leading Footscray at Whitten Oval 5-5-35 to 4-3-27. Both those games at half time as Shipley tries to break it out here, can't do so, and the umpire will call for a ball up.
McAndrews had 8 hit-outs. I'm going to struggle that one all day. Has had 4, Sinclair's had 3.
Call him Swizzer, he'll let you off.
I think I will.
As we see the Lions try to get through. That was Swizbalek at the base of that pack. Not usually there. Roberts, too hot for Rankin. Diving on the football was Nelson. And it'll be a ball up.
Yeah, Taylor's up to 12 disposals now. Absolutely dominating this quarter.
9 kicks, 3 handballs already for Lewis Taylor. Uncontested ruck for Swizbalek. Just kicks into open space. Gould lets it bounce and then had to wait for it. Lawson coming the other way. It was a 50-50 ball. In the end, Lawson wins it and Gould tackles him, brings him to ground. That'll be a ball up.
Yeah. What do you think Coburg need to do here?
Well, exactly what they're doing. Just lift the intensity, tackle hard, and just not give the Swans any free ball, and hopefully try and gradually eke their way into this lead as the kick goes forward there from Bunker. Tackle without the ball, maybe Sibbald. Umpire said play on. O'Connor, he dropped it, and the umpire agreed with me. Good tackle.
It was a good tackle.
And Braden Gillard will line up for goal for the Lions.
It would be really nice if they can get this before quarter time.
Yeah, just managed to, as we said, stem the bleeding in the last 10 minutes or so. If the Swans can't get that clear ball to drive it to all those tall forwards, then that gives them a chance to get back into the game. Absolutely. But they've got to take every chance they've got.
They have to.
So Braden Gillard has kicked 1 goal 4 this season. 4 in 17 games in his career. Usually plays off half back. That is a lovely kick. Has it got the legs? Yes, it has.
Well done.
Great finish from Braden Gillard. A terrific tackle, rewarded with a great goal, and the Lions have their second.
That's exactly what they needed. Hopefully for the Lions' sake, they can't let Sydney score another goal this quarter. They can sneak another one. They're right back into this.
Potential team lifter, that. You get a holding the ball, and then you finish from 45 metres out, 48 metres out.
It did look like that ball did fade a little bit to the right, coming towards us. So maybe there is a faint wind here coming into our faces.
That's a natural fade here at Piranha Park at Wurundjeri Woiwurrung.
I'm glad you said that one as well.
You reckon you can get that one out?
What was it again?
Wurundjeri Woiwurrung.
Wurundjeri Woiwurrung.
There you go. Close enough. Of course, I think that's a generalised term for the Wurundjeri people in this area. And Woiwurrung, I think, means a sporting field, because all the VFL grounds in Melbourne are known as Wurundjeri Woiwurrung this weekend for Sir Doug Nicholls' round.
What a great round it is.
Gentile to Walker. Over the top it goes. Picked off here by Bartholomeus. His hand pass will be sharked. Goal scoring opportunity. The Lions might have 2 in a minute.
He's got it.
Gentile. Fantastic goal.
And that's exactly what I said, Jonty. If they can get another goal just before quarter time, they're right back in this game now. And it helps when you get it out of the middle.
They've done it. When the ball out of the middle, they've lifted their pressure and their work rate. And that's what would have been disappointing for Coach Andrew Sturgis in those first 17 minutes, because they were being carved up out of the centre.
Yep.
And with a short back line against so many talls from the Swans, there's just absolutely no chance for those backmen if the ball's coming in like that.
That's right. And if the ball hits the ground, because Coburg are so small, the little fellas, it's got to suit them.
They can run it away. So McAndrew 209 centimetres, 101 kilos, turns 22 on Thursday.
Happy birthday to him.
Very much a late developer. Played rugby union until he was 17, Elvo.
Wow.
As Corey Warner isn't paid the mark, not 15 was the call. Only took up football because he started hurting kids in rugby union, from what I heard. He was just too big.
He's going to hurt people in VFL and AFL as well.
I think that's the right one. I might be thinking of someone else I was reading a story about during the week. Kicks inside 50 from Swizbalek on the free kick, but it's been chopped off comfortably there by Bartholomeus, and he's going to get a 50. I'm not sure. It's against... Is it against Dintinasante or is it against Sibbald? I think the umpire pointed towards Dintinasante, who then pointed to Sibbald. So Bartholomeus, the captain, goes short to Roberts, gives the hand pass off. Robbie Fox runs to 48, and the former Coburg player can't kick a goal on his old home ground. And the mark has been taken in the last line of defence by Warren. Brings it back into play, Dintinasante!
Mark.
Beautiful grab from behind. He's a live wire, is Josh Dintinasante.
From West Preston Lakeside.
Yeah, broke his elbow last year early on against Collingwood. Dislocated and broke his elbow and missed about 8 weeks, which really hurt him just as he was getting going too at VFL level. As Warren gets told to come back behind his mark, and he's worked his way into the game too against the big forwards, Trent Warren, and that's come from pressure up the ground.
Yep. Absolutely, and Dinasante's only 20 years old, Jonty. So
Maybaum, kick up towards the wing, chopped off, hacked back into 50 by McAndrew. At the back is Reid, trying to charge through Fox. Reid flicked it up to Taylor, dodging, weaving, one way, back the other. That's a brilliant kick from Lewis Taylor.
Well done. Great goal, great little comeback goal there by City. Just not what Coburg wanted at the end of this first quarter, but great roving goal, that one.
Terrific play by Sam Reid. You don't often see that. Reid was the one who got down to the base of the pack and flicked the ball up to Taylor. Normally it would be the other way around.
Yes.
But Taylor sized it up, looked at his options, had to decide whether there was something better. When there wasn't, the kick back over his shoulder. Terrific goal.
Absolutely. Classy goal.
7 in the first quarter for the Sydney Swans. Coburg has kicked 3. The margin is 24 points. It's not the closest it's been today. The furthest it's been today, I should say.
Taylor now 13 disposals and a goal.
Off to a flyer, 3 clearances as well, but to his name. As the umpire puts it down, and it's won by McAndrew. Walker tries to go off the ground. Hand pass out from Gillard. Dodging and weaving Silvestro. Inside 50 he goes. Gould has it knocked away from him by Nelson. Back to Rankin, to Clark, to Sheether. Has to get rid of it. Does just in time. Clark's caught as well. Just got rid of it in time again. Now Taylor. Clark goes again. Got it off to Stevens. Plenty of handballs here. Sheether, Taylor, Amadi. Another one for Taylor. He goes towards the wing. That was good. McLean. Over the top, it goes to Stevens, who ran on nicely, spears it inside 50. It's a fraction short to Morrison. Hand pass over the top as Reid laid the tackle. Ducking under one is Gillard, knocked out of his hand, holding the ball. Nice tackle.
It was good forward defensive pressure from Coburg down here, but it came out. And now Sydney got to have a shot at goal right on the quarter time siren.
Lockie McAndrew, the ruckman, laying the tackle. And it was well done. 209 centimetres on 183 there. And Lachlan McAndrew has a chance to give Sydney an 8-goal first quarter. He's getting a couple of metres given back to him there. So he'll kick from 43 metres out. Probably about a 45-degree angle, maybe a bit straighter than that. And he's kicked it nicely. Has it got the legs? It does! Lachlan McAndrew kicks the goal, and Sydney Have a great start here at Piranha Park. Wurundjeri Woiwurrung and Sir Doug Nicholls round. It is the Swans 8-2-50, leading the Lions 3-2-20. Last link up as the umpire sets us underway. Brendan Rhodes and Paul Elvish with you here at Piranha Park as Swizbalek wins the tap and then gets the clearance. Goes to half forward Charlie Thompson, ripped away from him by Rankin. Kicks out towards the wing. It'll be knocked away here from Taylor. Chance for Lawson. Max Thompson goes through, and it hit his boot, I thought, but it was already over the line. And unfortunately, we already have an injury issue, Elvo. A young female boundary umpire is off the ground on the. She just limped to the bench at quarter time, which is a shame. Some sort of leg injury, which you don't like to see.
No, not at all.
Ball back into play here. Hopefully, she's okay and she might be able to run it back out later on. As the Swans come clear. That was another disposal for Taylor, but it was off the wrong hand, and Ronks takes it over the line.
They've got the emergency. I'm sure they can come out and take her spot.
So we do still have, how many do we have out there, boundary umpires? There's only 2 out there now, one on each side. So we're only running with the 3 here by the looks of it. So they're going to have to work a little bit harder by the looks of it, as we see a ball up on centre wing.
They're fit people, Jonty. They'll be fine.
They used to be, I'm not sure if they still are, but they used to be professional runners doing this as training. As Shipley has it knocked away from him. His hand pass went to McKenzie. Taken here by Boucher. A lovely step, but then the hand pass was not quite so good. And it's back over the line again. They're
trying to get the ball movement going here, aren't they, Coburg? They just need to get it into their forward line quick.
They've broken even so far in this second quarter. Amati having a run in the ruck now, and he wins the tap. Tracked by Roberts. Gets a lovely hand pass over the top to Stevens. Chips it inside 50. McAndrew with a chance. Knocked away from him. Here's Sinclair doing the roving. Clever tap on from McLean. Gives the hand pass to Ronk, and that is absolutely glorious.
Give that goal to Sinclair.
What a tap that was. Just from Hayden McLean it was, over the back to
Hayden
Sinclair.
McLean, sorry. That was just knowing where your players are, isn't it, and what they're going to do.
Hearing the voice and honouring the voice. And, a 9th goal for the Swans inside 2.5 minutes of the second quarter.
I mean, that's just the experience of the AFL players. I mean, listen to the names in that passage of play. There's not much you can really do about that.
So, the margin out to 36 points. And we'll see. Just waiting for the 666 to sort themselves out, I think. Joel Amati in the ruck up against Adam Swizbalek. They could rotate about 6 of them through against him and Sybil.
Just running off his feet.
As Amati misses the jump for a second time, and Swizbalek gets the tap and the kick inside 50, but Will Gould reads it best. Goes across the full back line to Fox, who had to put on the afterburners to get to it. Called to play on. And he has to go backwards. That's not good. Coburg has butted them up nicely here. Fox backwards, and it was taken clear eventually for the Swans. It's Ryan Clark who goes down the wing, and Maybaum managed to keep his man out of contention, and that allowed the Lions to get through. And this is a good passage of play here, building up. Drawing the man Thompson. McKenzie kicks inside 50, thumped away by Sheether. Tracking it back, Melican. Goes by foot, out towards the broadcast side. Ronk running hard, has it knocked away from him just as he tried to pick it up. Then he gave away a free kick, Ben Ronk. Fell into the back of Exon. Advantage taken by Gillard. Kicks inside 50. Kicked it to all Swans. Melican gave it to Clark. Across to Amati. And the Swans can come out of defence here. Not a good kick. Baddeley Kelly chops it off in between 2 Sydney players. Brings it back into Boucher. Short ball, worm burner from Boucher. Nelson to Bunker. Inside 50, touched off the boot. Dintinasante has his arms chopped. Advantage quickly taken again by Charlie Thompson. Inside 50, Melican picks it off.
You can see that Coburg are trying to do the right thing. Get it in there quickly.
The Swans numbers are already back there at the moment as Melican gets it across to Gould, who'll bring it up towards the wing. Sinclair, he's about 2 foot higher than Dintin Asante there and was always going to mark it. To half forward Reid, worried out of the contest by Warren, who did it wonderfully well. Sends it back to the wing. Sinclair, very good. Too tall again, Sinclair, this time for Exon. He plays on and drives it to half forward. Man on his own is Shipley. He's still on his own. He's got one in the goal square. And McAndrew takes the mark 12 metres out.
Coburg did all that hard work and then they forgot to man up on the turnover.
Yeah, too easy for the Swans on that occasion.
I'll tell you who Amati reminds me of. Michael O'Loughlin. Or should I say O'Loughlin?
Yeah, a little bit taller.
Yeah, a little bit taller. It's just the way he moves.
Yes, the Swans would love it if he became anywhere near the player that Magic was. As McAndrew pokes at it and pokes it through.
Similar to his kick for the end of the last quarter goal, he's got a bit of an awkward kicking style, but if it's effective, he's kicked 2 straight.
It's a long way from hand to foot when you're 209 centimetres tall.
It's exactly right.
6'11" in the old.
Well, you look at 2 metre Peter, he's a beautiful kick of the footy.
Yeah. He's also 3 inches shorter. That's scary. 2 metre Peter's 3 inches shorter.
Crazy.
2 goals for Lachlan McAndrew. Swans out by 42 points. Around the ground, Southport lead Port Melbourne by 50 and Gold Coast over Footscray by 14. Both of those around about time on of the third quarter.
Gee, Southport travel well.
They're a very good team, Southport. 19 ex-AFL players on their list. So it's no surprise that they're right up there with the best of them. There's maybe a free kick, maybe a high contact. It was, yes.
Holding the man, he said.
Holding the man. Could have went either way. Silvestro with the free against Bartholomeus. Goes towards full forward and Sheether with coverage. Gets back and takes the mark. Mark Sheether. Spearing ball to the outer side. Bartholomeus to Clark. Over the top to Gould. Lovely kick to Amati. And he's got to hold things up. Called to play on now. Chips towards forward 50. Here come the big men, McLean. There was 3 of them queuing up there for Sydney. Hayden McLean won the raffle.
Beautiful hands that time.
Ticket was red number 2. And McLean will kick from 48 metres out. He is yet to join the goal kickers today. Coming back down from the AFL for this game. Comes in and kicks from right on the paint of 50. He's pushed it across the face here. The big men with a chance again. Kept in play by the Coburg defence. Clearing ball. Gentile knocked away from him by Rankin. Dodging and weaving Morrison. Max Thompson got him, put him over the line, and would have been holding the ball if not for the boundary line.
Absolutely. That was Thompson that cleared the ball before and did well there with the tackle.
The younger brother of Max Thompson. Younger of Charlie, of course.
Oh, didn't know that.
As the ball comes back into play. And the Lions will clear, and that was Silvestro up to the wing. Nelson. Here goes the Swans with a turnover through the agency there of Adam Goulden, who's in back from a broken collarbone. Sinclair goes inside 50 and Amati takes the mark. May have been a little bit of a shepherd behind there from Reid, but Amati gets an uncontested grab.
Yeah, can't leave players like that standing on their own.
Yeah. We just saw Adam Goulden come on for his first run there and get a disposal. Older brother of Errol. Played over 50 games in the Sandful before coming back to Sydney and was captain last year. Broke his collarbone in round 1. It's his first game back today. So Joel Amati with 1 goal on the board so far. He's kicked 12-5 for the season at VFL level. And this is going to not swing back enough.
As you were saying before with the swing here, I think he was allowing for that and it just didn't swing back as much as he thought.
It's always a little bit left or right at that city end, the grandstand end. As the Lions bring it back into play through Mackenzie. Long ball to the wing.
Yep.
Now Swizbalek dumped in front of the contest before the ball got there. Gives the handpass off to Corelliano. Towards half forward. Lovely kick to Lawson. Needs to get into it in his 50th game. Wants to take on Golden, and he does. Kicks inside 50. It's a good kick. And Coburg had the numbers this time, and big boy Peter McAvoy takes the mark.
Beautiful. That's the first big tall player I've had take a mark up there for Coburg, and he did it well. And hopefully, for Coburg's sake, he could put this through.
Well, I'm surprised to look at his sheet and see that he's only kicked 4 goals, 4 for the season. He's usually such a terrific finisher. I think he's had to spend some time down back with the lack of tall options. Kicked a couple against Box Hill 3 weeks ago when I was here. So Peter McAvoy is 25 metres out, 45-degree angle. Huge kick for Coburg. And, of course, he was always going to kick that.
Beautiful left footer.
He's a good kick, Peter McAvoy. And the Lions have 4, the margin back to 6 goals.
Okay, so what Coburg have to do here is get the next 2 or 3 goals to stay in this game. Otherwise, as we said earlier, it could turn very, very ugly here. But, you know, good on Coburg. They're sticking in there. They're doing everything. They're trying hard. They've just got to, again, just win the ball more out of the middle, get control of it, get it up there quickly. And speaking of that, Lewis Taylor's had 15 disposals now. Ryan Clark 13, Matt Roberts 11, Dylan Stevens 11, Nicholas Shipley 10. So the first first 5 highest disposal getters are all Sydney players.
Just one so far this quarter for Lewis Taylor.
Yep.
Wonder if we'll have an eye on him. He's not out there at the moment. As the umpire slams the ball back into the turf, McAndrew with the tap. Trying to work his way through is Charlie Thompson. He's caught. It's a terrific tackle. No prior opportunity by the time he got possession of the footy.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Sydney bench now and just seeing if I can see him. Lewis Taylor.
Ronks there. Stevens is getting ready to come back on. As we have another ball up. I think he is sitting there on the bench for the Swans. As Warner has it ripped out of his grasp, but it's not going far.
Yeah, this is all right for Coburg, holding it up here.
Sibbald into the ruck now, won that tap. Lawson to Boucher, flicks it out to Max Thompson. Baddeley Kelly sold up the river. Working way through there, Fox. Oh, that's in fact Golden there at the base of that pack, Adam Golden. McAndrew with the tap again. Oh, good hand pass. Little bit of a fumble. Put Lawson under pressure. Bartholomeus spent it before he had it, but went back and got it a second time. Kicks high and long inside 50. Reed with his name written all over it, but dropped the mark. Good work from Padashki coming in the other way. Walker, Sinclair, Anderson, now Collis. His kick flies off the outside of the boot. Problem here for Coburg coming to the bench.
Great pressure there from Coburg. Really well done. Yeah, that's Lawson coming off. He's not looking very well, is he?
No, limping on the left ankle, I think, as the Lions move it up towards the wing. Keep an eye on that for us. Nelson with the football. Brings the ball down towards centre half forward. And has been a shepherd paid here. And it goes to McAvoy.
He's in a lot of pain here, Lawson. He really is grimacing and
kicks into the pocket. Oh, look at that. Jumping for the football there for the Swans was Will Collis, and just standing at the back minding his own business was Luke Bunker, and it landed in his lap. So Bunker, it's a deep pocket, but you do see goals kicked from there. And you see another one right now. That's a terrific banana finish from Luke Bunker, and the Lions have their 5th.
Well done. Just what they needed. Just trying to keep an eye here on Lawson. It's the knee.
Left knee.
Left knee, and he's really grimacing in pain here.
Oh, let's cross our fingers.
Absolutely.
We've seen some very good players go down for the season in the last week or so. Jack Toner, one from Williamstown, did his knee last week. which is a massive blow.
Is that a season-ending knee?
Yeah, he's been ruled out for the season. ACL, which is terrible for the young man.
Absolutely.
So we send best wishes to him and the Williamstown Football Club. They're playing Brisbane Lions later on. Billy Crofts from Geelong out for the year with an Achilles from last week as well. Kyle Jacobson from Frankston did his knee on debut and is gone, sadly.
On debut, that's awful.
So let's certainly hope that Sam Lowson hasn't gone the same way as the Lions go forward again. Melican front spot charging out, led Lukic to the ball. Short ball from Melican, and Roberts takes a good mark for Sydney in front of Gillard. Plays on to the left, lovely kick to Amati. Thought about going to Taylor, who's back on the ground and okay. Not a good kick from Amati. Puts the pressure on. Anderson's caught by Corelliano. Got a hand pass away just in time. Stacks on the mill. The umpire will call in and say my ball.
I'm just looking at Lowson, they're doing a lot of work on him.
Swans in a scoring opportunity here as Gillard wraps it up again.
They've given him the old pain relief tablet there.
Hopefully he can walk it off.
He's up. They've taped it up and he's up walking, so this is a great sign.
Boucher runs away from the back pocket, looks for open space. He found open space, but it was on the wrong side of the boundary line. So the free kick to be taken by Rankin. Last year's number 57 draft pick. The fourth one taken by the Swans. And the kick inside 50, Padashki. Amadi had to make the spoil. McAndrew, Roberts. Little chip over the top. And Padashki can't quite hold on to it. He did everything but bring it to ground. And we'll get a ball up just outside the goal square.
Coburg players pleading for holding the ball there, but the umpire had different intentions and happy to ball it up.
Swizbalek with the tap. Charlie Thompson ferrets it out of there, sends it back towards halfback, and whistle on play. High ball, high tackle. Free kick to Nelson. Goes short and wide. Boucher has it knocked away from him. Turnover time. Taylor spearing ball into the pocket and thumped with authority. And it's over the boundary line by Warren for a throw in.
Last few minutes, the Coburg defence has been really, really solid, and they've really pressured the Sydney forwards.
2 goals each in this quarter so far. We've been going nearly 18 minutes. Swans kicked 8 in the first term. Swizbalek with the tap, and he was pushed into it, says the umpire. No, it's not in the ruck contest. It's Gillard with the free kick. Goes back to the goal square to Baddeley Kelly. Sees the man on defensive 50 is Corelliano. Wants to draw Anderson and does so. Gives it to Maybaum. Kicked in towards the wing. McAvoy thumped away from him. That was good by O'Connor. Came to Roberts. Kicks inside 50. One-on-one contest here. Morrison and McKenzie. Morrison wins the footy. Snap around the corner. Doesn't get enough on it. Stevens has to bring it to ground. Who's there? McLean. Desperation for the Coburg defence. Corelliano receives the hand pass from Padashki. The kick outside. Mark was dropped there by Sheether. Got it across to Shipley. He's got time. Kicks to the top of the goal square. Whistle. Which way? Coburg free kick. And the advantage won't be paid. So it's going to come back to Jack Maybaum. They're talking about the teams that are looking for tall defenders in the mid-season draft. I reckon this bloke is the best in the VFL at the moment. Jack Maybaum had his 4 years at Sydney without getting an opportunity to play senior footy due to injury. As the Lions, this is dangerous, and getting away with it. There was McKenzie. Kick out towards the wing. Knocked away from Boucher. Quick hand pass came up to Bunker. He goes to Nelson. Back to Gillard. Running through the middle of the ground. Goes inside 50. 2-on-1 contest here. O'Connor brings the footy to ground. Getting in there for the Lions. There is Sibbald. Taken away by Rankin. Pressure. Great chase and tackle there from Walker. Got a hand pass away just in time. Fox brings it over the top. McLean can't take the mark. Lukic, handball over the top. McLean tried to tap it. Mackenzie he held high, Walker. Here goes Roberts. Look away handball was nice. McLean, Fox knocked away from him and over the line.
You can't fault Coburg's endeavour here, Jonty. They're having a real red-hot crack.
That got called deliberate, Paul. I need a beer. Badashki kicks inside 50. And it'll go out of play.
Maybe the umpire can buy you the beer.
Well, that's all we want to say about that. I won't say it.
I looked away and didn't realise you paid it until you told me.
Ball spilled out of his hands, hit his foot and trickled over the line. Oh, Charlie Thompson straight through. Oh, man on the line, the fullback. The goalkeeper was there. And Lewis Milliken saves the day for Sydney.
Yeah, they're as I was saying, Coburg's pressure here is fantastic in their endeavour. They're really having a red-hot crack.
They're right in the actual game at the moment, Coburg, if not on the scoreboard. 30 points the margin. As the ball comes back into play from Fox to Milliken. Run out of the back pocket and bring it over the top to Sheether. Still on the half-back flank in front of the Frank Huntington Centre, which is the nets here at Coburg City Oval, Piranha Park. Not 15. Fox has to get around and does so. Chips it inboard and finds Morrison. Or that's Ronk, in fact, Ben Ronk. Decides to go sideways and back to Sheether. Short again, and with 5 possessions, they've gone exactly nowhere. Stevens to Taylor. Make that 6 and they've gone nowhere. Taylor will go backwards. Coburg are pressing up nicely. Milliken pushes it across to Clark. Can they build on the outer side of the ground? Called to play on now is Clark, so he goes short. Not 15, Golden. Brings it back inboard. Oh, it's stolen away. Here we go. Dentina Sante. Hand pass up to Nelson. Flicks it over the top to Gillard. Further afield there to Lukic. Snap on goal from Lukic. Doesn't get full purchase. And Will Gould's fist has stopped probably 40 goals this year, I reckon. And it's stopped another one there.
Great news here for Coburg. Sam Lowson's ready to come back on the ground.
Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant. And we apologise if we gave anyone a heart attack. As Corey Warner goes through the middle of the ground and reads on his own, takes the mark, puts the hand pass in front of Stevens. It only needs to sit. It does sit, and the Swans go coast to coast.
That's just quality, isn't it? Again, listen to the names of the players in that play, and it says it all. You know, it makes it hard for VFL listed teams like Coburg when you match up against players like that. You know, they can only do their very best.
And they are doing their very best at the moment.
They are.
So just that first 17 minutes, they got blown out of the water. And right now, they are at least in the game, and if not being slightly ahead of the game, as Charlie Thompson makes his way off the ground a little bit gingerly as well. I think he's just cooked from chasing that ball back.
And I think you could say, too, unluckily for Coburg, Sydney kicking 11-3. That's fantastic kicking. You know, they missed 3 or 4 of them. The score obviously be a lot different.
Closer, yeah. You know, they're not playing badly, Coburg. That's quite clear. They're not playing badly. It's just every now and again the Swans get away from them. Since that 17-minute mark of the first quarter, it's been 6 goals to 5. Maybe 6 to 4. They might have got one early, the Lions. So it's been fairly even from there as McAndrew won it down. Walker left it behind. Here goes Taylor again. Fed the hand pass out, but Max Thompson was the only one there. Running onto it here is... that was Gentile, who goes up to half forward. Gould is pinged for a free kick against McAvoy. High contact. Given the hurry up now, so he just loads up and kicks inside 50. Big pack flies, thumped to ground by Fox, front and centre Warner. Got the hand pass out to Anderson. Stevens slaps it on Bartholomeus, left it behind. Had to come back and lay the tackle. O'Connor with a fierce attack on the football. Reed, lovely handball to Warner. Gives the handball back to Clark. He goes over the top of Marty. Oh, clever tap on. Here goes Warner again. Left-hand ball inside 50 and Taylor marks. Joel Amati, there was that clever tap on, similar to the McLean one earlier on. And Lewis Taylor has the football. Man on the mark is about 46 metres out from goal. He's kicked one so far, Taylor. And he sees a man all on his own. And Matt Roberts marks about 20 metres closer.
Yeah.
Just lost his defender there, did Matt Roberts. It certainly wouldn't be Maybaum who's on the mark. So Roberts with the opportunity now. Kicked only one goal in his VFL career so far. A boy from South Australia, from South Adelaide. He's still only got one.
He's hooked that one. He's actually from South Adelaide, Langhorne Creek.
From Langhorne Creek via South Adelaide is the way to read that one. His junior club. Certainly those junior clubs deserve... Oh, massive hole!
Oh.
Big fly from Robbie Fox in front of his old fans. There's another highlight for the reel. Kicks towards half forward and finds Roberts. Plays on. Kicks into the man on the mark. Gets it back to Roberts. Around the corner, a Marty over his head. At the back, Battley Kelly. Happy to walk it over the line.
Yeah, you're happy to come in and pay to see that. That is absolutely fantastic.
Wonder how many of those he did on the tackle bags at training before he got picked up by the Swans here at Piranha Park. Wonder if they'll let him go up into this fantastic new function centre here to tell them all about it after the game. Here is Silvestro trying to get through there and he can't.
We're at the 26-minute mark here, nearly 20, right on 27-minute mark here of the second quarter.
I had to look twice because I wasn't sure that that was in Fox's repertoire. Ryan Clark receives from Roberts. Double fister from Maybaum, probably should have marked it. Silvestro, McKenzie. Picked off here, off hands. Fox, snap around the corner. A screamer of a mark and now a goal? No. Off hands it goes from McLean, brought it front and centre. Handball back to Reid. He's gone. Good tackle. Really good tackle from Max Thompson.
Well done.
Or is it Dintina Sante who's going to claim it? It is. He goes short and finds Walker. Dintina Sante on Reid. No easy task, I wouldn't have thought.
No.
And the smallest men on the ground against one of the biggest. Walker's kick came out to Warren, to the wing. Gould with that massive fist again. Corelliano can't keep it in.
Well done by Lukic there to get the ball to ground. It's not always about marking it.
No. And he has kicked a goal, but he does have a big task matching up there on Will Gould. I'm stunned he hasn't made an AFL debut yet. Gentile goes out of mid-air. Shiva worried out of it by Dintina Sante. Kicks towards goal. Kicks towards goal!
Well done.
Get up and celebrate as you deserve, Josh Dintina Sante.
Fantastic. Great individual effort. Good shepherd through there too. I can't see who that was there, Jonty. But well deserved. Well done, Coburg. They really, really deserve that. They need to, even though we said before they're playing well, if they can shot on the scoreboard, they're right back in this game.
It's a fantastic kick, wasn't it? He worked his way through. He won the football himself. And then the little kick, I'm not sure he wasn't trying to centre it to Lukic in the square, or might have even been Lawson down there who's resting forward as he tries to run off that knee issue. But, through it went on the bounce, and Coburg, so I think that's now, 5 goals to 6 since that early flurry from Sydney.
Yep. So if it wasn't for that, the scores would be pretty much level.
Very tight. 30 points in the ball game. 29 and a half gone in this second quarter, so we're right in the shadows of half-time. There's been 3 goals kicked each in this quarter. Amadi with the tap. Charging through is Jepson. Can they find another one here and win the quarter, the Lions? O'Connor knocks it to ground. McAvoy fed the hand pass up. Dintinasante flicks it out to Walker. Goes back to Bunker on the right boot. In towards goal. Siren sounds. And the score will not count, I don't think. I think it was pushed through after the siren and not off hands. But we're having a discussion here. It's going to be awarded a behind.
Oh, wow. I'm a bit surprised at that. I thought...
And now it's on.
Oh, it is on.
They don't like it. They don't like that decision, I wouldn't have thought. A little bit of how do you do going on here.
Here we go.
The Swans...
even the interchange players... Even the interchange players are coming out to have it.
He's not allowed to do that, Adam Golden. I was pretty sure. He needs to stay away. He might be just trying to call some of his men away from there. There's still a bit going. We are getting underway in the third quarter. The Swans lead by 29 points. The Lions did win the second quarter. Can they keep working their way back? McAndrew with his second punch. Thumps it all the way to forward 50. Here comes Ronk. He had got worried out of the contest. Ball smothered. Tracking it here is Clark. Beating him to it is Rankin. Kicks back inside 50 through the hands of Sinclair. Picked up for the Lions by Exon. Goes back out to half-back and Lowson moving freely. How good's that?
That's what they need to do.
Bunker receives from Sam Lowson, the 50th gamer. Not even a hint of a limp there now, so he's had some good work at half-time as well. And the ball goes towards the wing. Big pack flies, crunches. And the bodies hit the floor. Melican brought down. Great tackle by Dintinasante.
Fantastic. Went and got a coffee at half-time, Jonty. Spoke to some of the locals. Fantastic people, mate. I love it.
It's terrific to come to these these old standalone VFA venues. You love football here as Exon tries to slap it through. Walker, Bunker, Boucher. Picked off by Shipley. Well done. Just standing in the right spot, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
Nick Shipley will play on and drive it down the line. Just got it over his defender. McLean to Clark to Ronk. Which way will he go? Centering ball. Bites it off to Golden. Did well, Adam Golden. Got it up to Fox. Blind turnaround one. Flicks it back out to Ronk. Thought about Clark and then used him. Sinclair's got a metre. It's hugging the boundary. It's too wide. And it's out of play on the full. And the free kick will go to the Lions. Swizbalek. Long and high up to the wing. Melican over the top. Dintinasante front and centre. Bunker. Booted clear by McKenzie. McAvoy should mark. Doesn't quite. Gould did well. Sheether. His handball smothered by McAvoy. And it's over the line.
Good tough work there by Coburg, as we said near the end of the second quarter. You've got to keep that going.
So, 2.5 minutes. The Swans had 2 goals on the board in the first quarter by this stage. McAndrew worked under it by Swizbalek. Charlie Thompson tries to go straight through. And he was clearly held by Matt Roberts.
Just held on to the tackle a little bit too long.
So we see a long ball from Jepson. And Melican, good use of the body on Sibbald and takes the mark. He's having a fine day back there, is Lewis Melican. Gets it out to Amadi. Long ball down the outer wing, looking for Reed. Finds him. Quick hand pass off is with Warner. Back to Reed. Shut down nicely. He was by Corelliano. Reed into full forward. Was that touch? Was, but it didn't matter. It was the wrong side of the post. Sam Reed has 2 goals too.
It was actually a really good kick to him, to a one-on-one.
Just floated a fraction too far for Sinclair, didn't it, in the end? As Maybaum brings it long up towards the wing. Dintinasante runs onto it, gets pulled back a little bit by Fox. Does almost enough. Gentile, Boucher, Fox still chasing. Pushed after he got rid of it. It wasn't a big push, but it was enough when he was off balance. And it doesn't matter anyway because Lukic took the mark 35 metres out straight in front.
I was just wondering there, Jonty, was that going to be paid there or downfield? Not that it matters.
It was after he kicked it anyway.
After he kicked it,
so definitely after he kicked it. It wasn't a big nudge, but he went flying because he was off balance having just kicked the footy. But as I said, Lukic marked the ball anyway.
I like this Lukic.
Yeah, he's a promising type. As I said, made his debut against the Brisbane Lions up in Queensland 2 weeks ago. The Logan McDonald step on the start of his approach. And he punches the air as soon as it hit his boot. First goal of the third quarter of the Lions, and they're working their way back.
That's exactly what they had to do, Jonty. Good bit of work, good ball movement. If they can get the next one or two, mate, it is game on.
First multiple goal scorer of the day for Coburg is Alex Lukic. 19 years of age.
Oakley Charger boy.
Out of the Oakley Chargers. Born on exactly the same day as Max Thompson.
You're very good with your figures, Jonty. You've
spent too much time on my computer.
You are the stats man, mate. Whenever in doubt, I always go to you.
Sometimes I can help. So the margin is back to 24 points. It's as close as they've been able to get since that opening salvo from Sydney. They need to get the next goal. Get it under 20 and anything's possible. Out of the centre. The Lions might have a chance here. No, it's going to be wrapped up. In fact, that's pretty good work from Ryan Clark against 2 Lions to hold it up there. McAndrew was probably held in that ruck contest. Umpire was happy to let it go. Fox really starting to come into the game now. Roberts won a lot of the ball in the first half. Over the top, Taylor gets it back to Roberts. Here they go, the Swans. McLean's got a metre, but it's over his head. Warren tracks it back, had an air swing. Couldn't quite get hold of it, McLean, but did the second time. Collis kicks back towards goal. Will Collis on the left. Thank you very much.
Goal of the day, that one. We thought we saw a couple of good ones before. That is magnificent on the left foot. What a fantastic goal.
We've got 2 in the Big Six, I reckon, this week.
Wow.
Will Collis with his 3rd goal of the season, and what a beauty that is on the left boot.
It just shows that Sydney had to work hard for that goal and needed something special to get that goal, didn't it? As we keep saying, Coburg are playing well.
Yeah, they are right in this game, Coburg. It's just a matter of breaking through that 4-goal barrier that they can't do at the moment.
They get a bit of a run on. Roberts is up to 21 disposals now. Clark 19, Taylor 19. Gentili's now up to 14.
Starting to get his hands right on the ball. We do have one final score elsewhere, which we'll bring to you very shortly as the umpire slams it into the turf here at Wurundjeri Woiwurrung, Piranha Park. As Stevens with the clearance out towards half forward. Oh, beautifully judged play that. The mark taken by McKenzie. Fine player, McKenzie. He gives up 50 metres here to Padashki, who gives up even more, and they've ended up hemmed right in the back pocket with Jack Maybaum. They gave up a good 65 metres there. Maybaum goes to the outer side. Sibbald had to make the spoil. It was Lukic. Golden, hand pass too hot for Fox. Lukic arrives and worries him over the line.
There was obviously some method behind that madness with going backwards then.
Yep, well, they're the same distance out from goal as they were when they started, just on the other side of the ground. You always wonder, I know it's all about the switch and to keep possession of the football, but sometimes wouldn't they be better off getting it further away from goal? And that's all teams. As Golden has it knocked away from him. Fox, front and centre, knocked out of his hands. Silvestro. Scrubbers a kick forward. Melican picked it up but handballed it straight to Lukic. Across to Dintina Sante. Wouldn't rule him out. Kicks towards McAvoy. And a free kick to McAvoy.
It's been paid downfield.
Oh, downfield. Okay, I was going to say there is no way that that O'Connor put a hand on Peter McAvoy's shoulder. But a downfield free kick, and there was a little bit. There's a lot of players bunched around where Dintina Sante kicked it from, so that was certainly behind my line of vision. But Peter McAvoy's got to put his boot back on, and when he does, he'll go back and kick the goal.
And that's another down the field play that Sydney have given away, even though Lucas took the mark before. It was still, so they've got to stop those silly things.
Yeah, they seem to be from that, whether it's from the disagreement over the price of petrol before half-time, as you said. They might be saying it's a little bit cheaper in Sydney, I don't know. Find out next week. As Peter McAvoy is 20 metres out directly in front. You'd reckon he could kick it with his eyes shut, and he certainly can. McAvoy's got his second, and the Lions get it back to that 4-goal margin again.
They do. This is where if they can get the next 2 goals, that it will be absolutely perfect for them.
They've got to get inside that 20-point mark.
Yep.
Give themselves a show.
Yep.
The 2 early games have come to a close, Elvo. At ETU Stadium, a 63-point win for Southport over Port Melbourne. 18-11, 119 to 7-14, 56. Tom Fields kicking 4 goals in the absence of the suspended Jacob Townsend again.
Yep.
And the Gold Coast Suns, with their 21, I think, AFL-listed players, have beaten Footscray at the Whitten Oval by 25 points. Wow. A comfortable win. There for the Suns, 14-13-97 to the Bulldogs, 11-6-72. And it is half-time at Moreton Bay in Queensland. Williamstown, 4-6-30, leading the Brisbane Lions, 3-5-23.
Wow.
Could be an upset on the cards there as the Lions can break again here. Boucher, but it was thumped away, only went as far as Walker. Sends the kick up towards half forward. Was McAvoy holding on? Umpire said that's okay. Sheether worried over the line.
And Richmond and Essendon starting at the G at 2:45. Essendon are winless in the VFL. They're looking for their first win today.
They are underway. They're in the first minute of that game there, the Tigers and the Bombers. The Tigers looking to get back into the top 8. As McAvoy and Sibbald split the difference on that ruck contest. Clark gives away, I'm not sure if he gave away the free kick or not, but it was given to Gentile, who kicks in towards full forward. McAvoy! And they will get inside that 3-goal mark now, Pete. Paul. Pete's going to kick the goal.
If they can kick this is fantastic for Coburg. That ball suddenly dropped, didn't it?
It did, and it was well judged by the Lions captain. He's played a lot of football here, Peter McAvoy. 80 VFL games under his belt. Most for Coburg. Did play for Box Hill early doors when he came down from Dettering Mount Beauty.
Is that where he's from? From
Dettering Mount Beauty. Ben came through the Wodonga Raiders before he went to St Kilda.
Yep.
But the boys are off a dairy farm. And Peters kicked the goal, just as you would expect. 2 in a row for McAvoy, 3 for him for the game. It's 18 points, it's game on.
And that's the loudest cheer I've heard all day from the Coburg supporters. They're getting right behind.
They'll be up and about now, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
And they have plenty to get excited about right now. Andrew Sturgis pacing the boundary line. A little slap of the hand, the low 5, if you like, for Lukic.
Yeah. There are quite a few kids up behind the goals at the city end there.
And we've got a Coburg flag waving up there too, which is good to see. The cheer squad of the future. They're still hanging around after playing Auskick at half-time by the looks of those boys and girls. 18 points the margin. Can Sydney find the answer? Clark sends the kick inside 50. Charging out of the line was Warren. Amadi brought him down in the tackle. Gentile, he brings down his direct opponent. The umpire says my ball.
Roberts now 21 disposals.
It was Collis for the Swans. Ronk, kick around the corner towards full forward. McLean had 2 to beat, and he couldn't beat them. He gave away a free kick. And that goes to Trent Warren. If they get the next one, it will be hard to keep the crowd out of this. Up to the wing, big fly from the backs from McAndrew. Won it down. Boucher for Coburg. Gould, wonderful pick up at his bootlaces. Kicks back inside 50. Exon with the spoil sends it through for a rush behind.
If Coburg can get it out of here, get the next goal, absolutely is game on.
So Jai Baddeley Kelly to bring it back into play. Decides to go short and finds Gillard. Gives it off to Exon, out towards the wing. Swizbalek spoiled. Pressure builds here, stacks on the middle. Swizbalek just crunches in.
Thought Swizbalek was a bit unlucky there not to get the free kick. I thought his arms were chopped in going for the mark.
Sometimes they get them, sometimes they don't. As Roberts is caught high here. Bunker knew it. He was just hoping he'd got away with it. Roberts, not 15 to Shipley. He's got Rankin, but Silvestro with a fine smother. Roberts head over the football. Umpire says he ducked. He's going to ping him now.
He is. We'll listen to the crowd getting into the game now, John.
Oh, Charlie Thompson with the free kick. Oh, and is lucky not to give away 50 there, Sinclair. Kick inside 50 and thumped away by Milliken. And over the line for a throw in.
Coburg really testing Sydney here.
Oh, it's on. There is something happening here, Elvo. And it's something red sash. And now the Coburg chant comes up on the terraces. Boundary throw in on forward 50 for the Lions. One down by Sinclair. Max Thompson lays the tackle on Shipley. Umpire calls for the ball.
We also got to ask the question of Sydney to here as well. Coburg are coming out. How are they going to respond?
Well, they're beating them just with sheer desperation at the moment, Coburg. They've managed to get the game played on their terms. Hard and tough, down and dirty. Ronk to the middle of the ground. Reed worried out of it. Maybaum. Here goes Taylor, who gives away a free.
Yeah, they're more desperate for the ball at the moment, aren't they?
And they're getting there first. Gillard gives it to McKenzie, who's been important in this comeback. Across half-back, and we've got a whistle. There's a free kick in the goal square to the Lions.
Wow.
McAvoy is going to kick 3 in a row, and it's going to be a 13-point ball game.
Again, that's undisciplined play by Sydney, giving away that free kick.
You didn't see it. Of course, I was watching the ball. The Milliken at the top of the goal square is standing the mark. And Peter McAvoy, 15 metres out, directly in front for 3 goals in a row. Here come the Lions.
Was it to the crowd now? Wow. It's like another 1,000 people just walked into the ground.
I tell you what, if they hear that roar, they just might be. They'll be rushing over from Sydney Road very shortly.
Well done, Coburg. We don't want to sound one-sided here, but they looked out of it earlier. We
were looking at 100 points.
We were
in the first 20 minutes of the game,
and with the way that the Sydney listed players were, or AFL listed players were playing, and Coburg have just kept trying, and they're more desperate for the ball at the moment.
They put the pressure on in the middle on Taylor and Roberts. They're still getting the football, well, not as much as they were. Taylor's gone quiet. Whether he's on restricted minutes to potentially play next week or not. Roberts has been getting a bit of the football, but that tall forward line is just not getting the ball, and they're not out there at the moment, really. They're not in the play. As we see Padashki bring it out, Gentile, back to Padashki. Kick out wide, Ronk back with the flight of the ball. Takes the mark for Sydney. And they do have a habit at this level, Sydney, of giving up big leads. They lost 4 games from over 5 goals in front last year by a kick. So the Lions will know that if they can get close enough, it's possible. Maybaum went back to Corelliano. Brings the ball long and wide. That might be too wide.
Oh,
McAvoy tapped it back into play, apparently. The Swans bench didn't think so. I didn't think so.
I won't comment.
Ball back up. Shipley tries to go through. Silvestro worried out of it. Clark He can't get it clear. We'll have to have another stoppage.
And, of course, the last Sydney goal they got was something out of nothing, wasn't it, from Will Collis?
Will Collis, yeah. They've really had to work hard for their goals since that opening quarter. They had 7 on the board at the 17-minute mark of the first quarter. We're now 19 minutes into the third, and they're on 12. So since that time, it's been 9 goals to Coburg and 5 to the Swans. And Swizbalek with the tap. Shipley caught by Gentile. Ball held to him.
And 4 goals to Coburg this quarter, 1 goal to Sydney.
Yep, 3 to Peter McAvoy in a row. He's got 4 for the game. Lukic kicked his second earlier on. Clark's handball too hot for Taylor. Sinclair, Shipley smothered by Walker. Shipley off the ground, out of play.
Now Sydney aren't winning the ball, really, aren't they? Or getting any clear possession of the ball?
No, they're being beaten to the football, and they're being beaten in the contest right now. Really something for Jeremy Laidler to think about. How can he get them back playing the way they did in the first quarter? Shipley lays the tackle. Clark dispossessed. Stacks on again.
Got a bit of a stalemate here. As we said earlier, good to see Lawson came back on as that knee injury looked awful.
He certainly looked in a bit of strife, didn't he, as Clark just palms off Gentile. Outside of the boot, Reid through his hands. Morrison couldn't pick it up on the half volley. Amadi tries to shrug the tackle. Did shrug the first one. Got the hand pass off Morrison. Centering ball. Stevens over his head. Dodging, weaving, trying to get around Thompson. Here's a voice in the corridor.
Well done.
And that is great play by Dylan Stevens. He finds Roberts.
He didn't panic, did he? He just kept weaving around looking for someone to kick to, and someone led into the play for him, and he had an easy kick for him. So this is what Sydney need, a steadier here.
Update on our young female boundary umpire. She is in civvies in front of us, so she's out of the game. So hopefully not too serious. As Matt Roberts kicks and fades it out to the left. So disappointing result, that one. He's got 2 behinds, Matt Roberts, today.
Yeah, Sydney needed that one just to steady, didn't they?
Swans lead by 14 points.
Coburg really want to go up and get the next one now.
They get it back to single figures. Kick back into play. The mark was dropped at the knees there by Exon, by Sibbald, in fact. We have a ball up. 60 out from the Sydney goal. Sinclair with the tap. Was it McAndrew? Geez, they look similar, McAndrew and Sinclair. They even move similar. Apart from the 10 centimetre difference. They've even both got their shoelace headband on. So, ball back into play. Sinclair it is this time with the tap. One down by Taylor to Sinclair. Goes with the barrel. Inside 50. McAndrew and Amati. Amati claims that that's not a mark, but he's going to get it.
Oh, I disagree, Johnny. I thought he...
You reckon? I reckon it was McAndrew's first hands.
Okay.
It'd be interesting to see a replay, which we don't have access to. But Joel Amati certainly brought it to ground. But whether he had first hands or not, my eyes aren't necessarily that great from 70 metres away either.
That's why we're both wearing glasses.
Amati goes with the J-curve and hooks it narrow.
And as you know, quite often, if 2 people fly for the mark, if one of them brings it down...
He's usually going to be paid, yeah. Man in front.
Yeah.
Baddeley Kelly goes low to Warren.
He ran over the mark then, but no.
Okay, because he's with his man, I think.
Okay.
As O'Connor reaches over the top, but that'll be man in front, I think.
Certainly the Coburg bench will call him for the 50.
Yes, and they're quite right to call for it because sometimes it'll be paid. Charlie Thompson outmarked O'Connor on that occasion. Kicks high towards... Fox was up again. Couldn't quite bring it down this time. Call with the football. Gentile. Will Sheether get rewarded? He will.
Yeah, good decision, umpire. Took them on. Had prior.
So Mark Sheether. I like the way this young fella goes about it too. Sat out the second half 2 weeks ago against Werribee with a sore back. It's with Robbie Fox now through the hands of Corey Warner, who is someone who we haven't seen a lot of today. Ryan Clark now with the football. Goes short to O'Connor. Fox wants it back, and I reckon he's going to get it. He does. Outside of the boot. Kick inside 50. Amati takes the mark. Warren just slipping over at the crucial stage. And Joel Amati, just for some breathing space, has to kick this goal for Sydney.
Yep, he had that chance before with the hook around kick. And he's got a second
still don't like the J curve, especially not from that far out.
Yeah, I agree. Closer up, absolutely.
So Joel Amati has kicked 1-2. This one is from 45 metres out, and that's why you just need to kick a drop
Beautiful.
punt.
Great kick, and well done, Sydney, and that they needed that. Just to take a little bit of pressure off, and it's really going to test Coburg now. But if they can go up and get the next goals, they're right in it.
They're definitely right in the game, that's for sure. Swans back out by 21 points. 25 minutes gone.
With the J curve, maybe you need to have a chat to Dustin Martin about that. He loves it.
Well, Dustin Martin probably usually kicks them. I reckon he's earned the right to kick it however bloody way he likes. Right. Joel Amati, however, has to earn his stripes a little bit more.
Very true.
As much as we love Joel Amati and the way he goes about it.
Absolutely.
21 points the margin in favour of the Swans. 25.5 gone in the third quarter. We'll sneak around the grounds shortly. It's still half-time in Queensland. The Seagulls leading the Lions by 7 points. Richmond have kicked the first 3 goals against Essendon at the MCG, 15 minutes in. Charlie Thompson got the hand pass back to Boucher. Padashki to half-forward. Well-judged mark by Rankin. Asked for the 50, but it wasn't there. Rankin's kick is not good. It creates some work for Gould, and that is one of the great tackles you will see by Ben Jepson to bring down a bigger man. Sibbald with the turnover. Kicks inside 50. Milliken front spot. He's good on that fist, and Rankin gets taken over the line.
It's suddenly become a good battle, that Milliken and Lukic battle.
It is a good battle. The fists from Milliken and Gould are quality, aren't they?
Yep.
Sometimes too quality. You'd nearly rather them mark the ball. But they are very rarely beaten at this level. As Sinclair lays a terrific tackle on Charlie Thompson. No prior opportunity. And now we've got a high contact in this little fracas. And Sinclair will get the free. Goes short to Clark. Who dangerous. Collis gets shoved over by Swizbalek. He's being told to come back. He finally hears the umpire just in time. So Will Collis on half-back. Drives it towards half-forward. Battley Kelly up before acceptances.
Yeah.
And that's an unrealistic marking attempt. McLean takes a mark. Amati slipped out the back here. And McLean will hit him.
Great kick. Great vision.
Amati just ducked out the back after that free kick was paid. He lost Trent Warren in the massive bodies there. He's going with your Stevie J curve again.
Your favourite kick.
And this time he kicks the goal. He was too close to miss, really.
Yeah.
So 3 goals to Joel Amati, and the Swans have re-established a 27-point break.
Well done. And I think with that sort of a kick, that was invented from the Gaelic kick.
Yeah, in the international rules.
That's what I'm trying to say. International rules. I think Jack Rewalt was one of the first to start trying it.
Well, it's called the Stevie J curve for a reason.
Yes, well, very true.
So Jack sort of carried it on from there.
Yeah.
He might have been the first one to take it away from Stevie J or start copying him, but definitely Steve Johnson was the first to bring that one in.
Yeah, and he didn't miss many of them either.
Oh no. That's the thing. Everyone thinking that they're Steve Johnson when they're not. So back out to 27 points in favour of the Swans as we tick towards three-quarter time. And for all of Coburg's efforts, they only lead this quarter by 2 points. They might get away from the centre clearance here. They do. Towards half forward it goes. Golden worried out of the ball by Dintina Sante. Geez, I like his desperation. Yeah. Out wide he goes. Gentile will track it there. Getting there first is Stevens, though. Puts on the afterburners, but the wheels of Boucher. I'll get it right. I'll untie my tongue, and I'll tell you that it was Luke Nelson, who were a little bit quicker than Dylan Stevens.
There are some very difficult names today, Jonty, so you will be forgiven.
I shouldn't be struggling with Nelson, mate. Ball back into play. I'm going to lose it here in a minute. We're going to have a ball up about 2 metres forward of centre wing for the Lions. Tapped down by Swizbalek. Trying to spin through was Thompson. Clark got him. He's dragging it under there.
Yeah, he's paid a push.
Push in the back. Just in the desperation to get him pinned for dragging it in. Charlie Thompson played on and kicked it straight into Sam Reed's back. Not sure if he was planning that smother, Reed, or if he just got one. But it'll be another ball up.
30-minute mark of this. There probably wouldn't be very much time on, you would think.
We've seen 3 goals to 4 in favour of Coburg this quarter. Gentile, up and under kick into the pocket. Dintina Sante's in the front spot. Got crunched there by 2 Swans. Lawson, underground with the kick. Playing goalkeeper is Collis. And he almost misses his boot, but it's lucky it comes off. Sheether's handball was risky. Gould to Fox. They're going to get out of it, Sydney, or are they? Pressure on Amati here from Exon. He managed to shrug the tackle. Got it across. Gone. Swizbalek. The big men aren't supposed to do that.
No.
There's been some great tackling from the ruckman today. McAndrew got a holding the ball earlier as well. Sinclair did. Adam Swizbalek this time. Sets it up. Wants the big men to fly at it. And Will Gould's the only one that does.
Tried to milk the 50 there, the old Swizbalek. Didn't work.
Clearing ball from Gould is spot on to Reed. Have they got time to go? No, they don't. 3-quarter time here at Wurundjeri Woiwurrung Piranha Park on Sir Doug Nicholls' round. And the umpire will slam it into the cricket wicket here. And then he'll call it back and toss it in the air. Paul Elvish, you went wandering at 3-quarter time.
I caught up with the female boundary umpire that came off earlier. She's actually just not feeling 100%. She's just been getting over the flu and she was just struggling to breathe a bit, so she thought it's best that she come off. She said, "Thank you very much for your concern, though."
Very good to hear that it's not too serious. She certainly was limping when she came off, but that can happen as the Swans go forward. Reed!
Oh, good mark.
That is quintessential Sam Reed. That contested marks at the front of the pack. He's been doing that for 12 years.
Yeah, that's just AFL standard, isn't it?
Yeah. Now he needs to finish it off, and if he does, it will be very hard to see the Lions mounting a second salvo from the same margin behind. 49 metres out, Reed. It's fading to the left, and it's not even making the distance. It is making the distance, just sneaking through for a behind. Reed has 2 goals, 3 for the game.
He started off like a house on fire,
kicked both those goals early on in that first quarter rush. 2 goals, 1 in the first. He's now got 2, 3. Long ball back in from Maybaum, goes all the way to the wing, thumped down by Gould. Clearing kick, however, came from Gentile. Up to the wing it goes, to half forward. Sheether sees it over the line.
You would think Coburg have to kick the first minimum 3 goals here in let's say the first 10 minutes and to stay in this game.
If they can, and they get the pride up here on the terraces going.
Yep.
It'll be, they'll have a fair old wave of momentum. Those last 2 goals from Amadi sucked the energy out of the crowd a little bit. As Clark tumbles it forward, here goes Taylor, puts on the afterburner on the left boot, kicks towards half forward. Maybaum backed himself but couldn't quite hang on. Ronk fed it back towards Shipley, couldn't control it, and it's over the line.
Clark 25 disposals, Roberts 23.
Where's Taylor at? Because he had
21.
21. He had 19, I think, about 5 minutes into the second quarter. So they've really got hold of him. Who's got the job there? If we can spot that up. As the Swans try to work their way forward. Clark, Sinclair, inside 50. Playing in front is Maybaum. Said I still stand by. He's the best key defender in the VFL at the moment. Sends the long ball forward. Up early with Stevens. Could have given away a free. Umpire said play on. The gang tackled by Dintina Sante and Jepson.
Just having a look now. Taylor's being manned up by Braden Gillard.
He's probably had that role since early on. Might ask that question at some stage if we can. As Stevens receives from Clark. Goes towards the pocket. McLean at the back had to go with the fist and saw it over the line. They can rebuild the Swans. We'll have a look around the ground shortly. In the AFL, Western Bulldogs leading Gold Coast by 7 points early in the third quarter in Ballarat. As the ball comes back into play, won by McLean. Trying to work his way through is Clark and Ronk, and there's a whistle. It's holding the ball, I think, against Ryan Clark.
Would you believe me that I picked Gold Coast to beat Western Bulldogs?
I wouldn't. Sheether gets a hand pass inboard. Fox, Melican, Silvestro and Charlie Thompson and Lawson. Around the corner he goes towards 50. Ground level ball. Sheether ran onto it nicely. Goes short to Ronk. Brings it towards the broadcast side. Reid has got himself a couple of metres on Maybaum. Maybaum tracks backwards. That would have been paid as 50 in the AFL, which is overkill. As Reid kicks inside 50. Front and centre. Warner picked it up, but he's caught and he's gone.
Good decision. Sometimes they get turned, almost
the 360,
twice.
The 360 degree spin used to be automatic holding the ball as Silvestro shrugs past the tackle there of Sheether. Up towards the wing. Dintina Sante's out the back. Goes towards 50. There's loose men everywhere. Good. Wasn't paid. At the back, Nelson tumbles the kick towards goal. Hits the base of the post.
That was a mark, wasn't it?
I would have thought so. Behind to Luke Nelson, however. Margin back to 27. Robbie Fox comes away from fullback. Gives it to McLean. Could go to Golden. Decides not. And goes a little bit further to Roberts. Matt Roberts short. And finds O'Connor. They're happy to just corral them around the boundary line at the moment, Coburg. O'Connor decides to go long. Here comes Reid!
Oh. Pretty much just stood his ground, didn't he?
Amadi came in from one side, Reid from the other, and it was best judged by the big man from Wangaratta from Bright. And Sam Reid has another chance to kick his third goal. Not many 2012 Premiership players left at the Swans. Kennedy, Parker, Reid. He's missed this.
Again.
And he's only just snuck it in for a point in the end. 2 goals, 4.
I'm going to test you here. Wangaratta Rovers, what are their jumpers?
They are the Hawks. Elvo.
Damn it, I thought I was going to get you on one.
I'm from the Ovens and Murray.
I know. I realised that when I said it.
Long ball back in. Battley Kelly. Here goes Fox with the fist at the back. Sibbald swings around the corner. Boots towards half forward. And now here is Shipley overrunning the ball. Dintina Sante palms him off, gives it to Lukic. It was a little bit high for him, and then he fumbled. Swans with the numbers. Sheether to O'Connor. Lion player down there, Elvo. Keep an eye on that. Here is Clark around the corner. With courage is Stevens. Spoiled from him by Walker. Boucher. Amati steals it. Gives it off to Shipley. Kicks inside 50. 3 to beat for Ronk. Can't do so. Working hard here for the Lions there was Maybaum. Came out to Collis. Taylor thought about kicking. Changed his mind. Bad bounce for Reed. Tried to trap it behind his back. Couldn't do so. Out of play.
It was Lukic that went down, but he's up. He's heading towards the boundary line, I think. He looks a bit sore, but he's up and he's running. And
Lawson looks a bit sore again too. On there, right next to him there, Elvo. So keep an eye on that. So boundary throw in at half forward. McLean thumps it back inboard, but only went as far as Walker. Sinclair thumps it back from where it came. Collis. Handball too hot for Golden. He went back and got it. Stolen from Fox. Here goes Lawson. Recovered nicely across to Padashski. Up and under kick will land in the middle of nowhere. Judged it well, did Fox on the bounce. Fed it back to Golden. He goes down to the wing. Sheether to Stevens. They're building. This is dangerous. Amati. He's got Ronk if he wants him. He hasn't seen him. Now he sees him. Kicks for McLean instead. It's over his head. Turnover time. Max Thompson will bring it back out the other way. Broadcast side. Sibbald missed it. Melican tracking it. Steps around his man. Chips into the pocket and Reed's on his own. He's just starting to give them the slip again, Sam Reed.
Third time lucky for this shot.
Potentially. He's had those couple of siders, so he knows what the ball's doing. The breeze seems to have swung around a bit, and it's certainly going right to left now. So he needs to be aiming near goalpost, I would think.
Oh my goodness.
And it doesn't come back until too late. I reckon he kicked it to the right spot there, but he kicked it a bit harder than he did the first two.
Very true.
2 goals, 5. He's got 3 points in this last quarter. Swans by 29 points. They've kicked 3-8 since you told me they were kicking well, Elvo.
Yep.
Ball is out on centre wing. It's going to come back. Stevens, Clark, back to Stevens on the left boot. Inside 50. Is it wide? How wide? It bounces inside the line. In fact, boundary umpire is signalling. Boundary umpire was signalling throw it in, but the field umpire was right next to the play, and he said it's out of bounds on the full.
Sam Rowson's getting some work on his legs, Jonty. I think he might be pretty much done for today.
Exon brings it back towards the centre wing. Here's Gould, and he gets Kodang. He'll get the free kick. So defensive side of the wing for Sydney. He's going to go back to half-back. He gives it to Fox, who goes all the way to full-back, and he's kicked it over the head of O'Connor, who has to track it all the way to the goal square. Lucky he was on his own. Brings it back out, Reed.
Good mark.
He's starting to rack up the grabs there, Sam Reed.
Yep. And you find when AFL teams and have the AFL list of players play against the VFL teams, it's always seem to have the better fitness in the end of the games, don't they?
Stevens can do. When they've got good numbers in, like the Swans do today with 16 or 17 listed players. Harry Morrison has the football, one of those half a dozen who are not. The late inclusion for Braden Campbell. As we see Boucher give it to Thompson. Charlie across to McAvoy.
Oh.
Has it knocked away from him. That was a good spoil by O'Connor. Underground Bartholomew. Stevens. How good was the footwork there? Ronk. Stepped around beautifully. Ronk spearing ball. Amati slipped and was still able to recover and take the mark. Unfortunately for Baddeley Kelly, he slipped at the same time and Amati was quicker to recover.
Going for 4 here, Amati.
Another good day for him. Certainly ready to go whenever the opportunity arises for him. It's a hard forward line to break into. So Joel Amati's kicked 3 goals, 2. The 2 late goals in the third quarter made all the difference to this game, and he has judged it absolutely beautifully. And he thanks the crowd for the advice too. As he puts the Swans 15th on the board and he's 4th for the day.
Maybe the crowd were asking him what the other price of petrol is in Sydney.
Oh, he said 4.3.
$4.30.
Sam Reid moving his way up the list now. He's up to 12 marks, Sam Reid, today.
Yep.
Another one certainly with his hand up, ready to go.
Ryan Clark now up to 29 disposals.
Yeah, he's really taken over since Gillard sat on Taylor. Gillard probably started on Clark and they had to move him across. They can't stop them all. Free kick here for holding, going in favour of Nelson. Was Boucher. Kick inside 50. Lukic couldn't quite hang on. It's a good effort. And it'll be a ball up.
He's tried hard all day, Lukic.
He's really presented well, hasn't he? Umpire tosses it up in the air. One down there by Amati. Caught over top of the football is Boucher. We'll have a ball up. It's Nelson. The two of them look similar and both wearing those bright orange boots, so catching me out. Under the pack, Amati flies high in the ruck with the tap. Taken by Ronk, who booted it out towards halfback. Out of mid-air, there goes Warren. Back inside the zone. Gentile front and centre. Snaps on goal. Just the wrong side of the post.
It's now 14-minute mark, 34 points. So you would think pretty well Sydney are home.
And it's a good result for them too, because they had a good lead. They were severely challenged by an opposition who, as I said, are a lot better than their ladder position indicates. And they've managed to answer the challenge as O'Connor's going to get caught. Great chase from Nelson. Just got a kick away in time. Boucher gives it back to Nelson. Across to Walker. Inboard here, McKenzie. Can he pick it up? He can't. As soon as he did, it was knocked out of his hands by Fox, who's had a really good day, the former Coburg player. Took that hanger in the second quarter, Robbie Fox. Seen some nice highlights today. The mini match will make good viewing. As we see Fox over the top, Warner, Collis, and now Anderson. Well, Stevens it was, in fact, who goes short, and that's a clear 50. Frustration from Jack Maybaum. He's been pretty tidy today, Maybaum, under fierce pressure from so many tall Swans forwards.
If you're going to give away a 50, do it properly. Yep.
and he hasn't brought him, well, maybe into kicking range. Yeah. He'll have to kick it. Sinclair is going forward, asking maybe for the handball. They've seen him. McLean certainly can kick this distance, but it is a tricky breeze. He'll kick from right on the 50, has to hang it out to the right. He does it absolutely beautifully. Hayden McLean gets his name on the score sheet, and the Swans are safe now. They're back out by 40 points.
Yeah, that really hurts, doesn't it? You know, the silly 50 to give away that free kick. And if there was any door that's slightly ajar, it's definitely closed now. And what a beautiful kick.
Yeah, terrific work. And I think at 40 points, that is the highest lead of the game. In fact, the Swans did lead by 43 points at the 9.5-minute mark of the second quarter, when Joel Amati kicked his... he kicked it behind at that stage, Amati, to make it a 43-point margin. And it's back out to 40 now. So for all Coburg's efforts to get back into the game, the Swans have managed to steady. But I tell you what, they gave us something to get excited about, didn't they, Coburg?
It was great. But, you know, really something for the supporters to look forward to as well.
Yeah, they can string it together and not get blown out of the way early. As we see the Lions are going to win another clearance here. Here is Max Thompson. Throws it on the boot, goes towards full forward. Look out for Dintina Sante front and centre, but O'Connor's fist knocks it through for behind.
And Coburg definitely have a winnable game next week. They've got Essendon.
Yep, they'll be having their eyes on that one. As Warner brings it back into play, looking for Rankin to fly. Couldn't quite bring it to ground. Here's Reid. Hand pass off to Clark, who's really racking him up now. Sinclair on the stretch, right in front of the broadcast position. Short ball, just the 15. 0.00001. Lewis Taylor. He goes short and back to Clark. Long ball from Clark. Sets it inside, forward 50. Amati at the front. Sinclair at the back. Handball clear from Sibbald. Thompson receives from Silvestro. Blind turn back around. Came to the wing. Fox again! Oh! Well, he can jump. Gave it to Bartholomeus. He's going to bring it all the way back out to the wing for Sinclair. Thought about the hand pass to Sheether, decided not to, and then kicked it straight to Padashki and hung his head. So Mitch Padashki short to Corelliano. Plays on to the left, wants them to run at him. McAvoy gets the sit here. Fox held the front spot and did it well. McAvoy, well, he kept it in and then dragged it out with his boot.
And next week, great game coming up in the VFL, Sydney versus Richmond, up at the Lakeside Oval in Sydney.
Yeah, 2 o'clock Friday afternoon, that one. And I'll be there.
Enlighten me where the Lakeside Oval in Sydney is.
That's the little ground outside the SCG. It's also known as Tramways. As we see the Swans try to break clear here. Collis, Fox. Lions with the turnover. Good hand pass. Gentile looking for his second. Just couldn't control it on the left boot.
And has that been renamed to the Lakeside Oval after the old Lakeside Oval?
It has,
South Melbourne?
yes.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, they've named it Lakeside Oval quite a number of years ago.
Brilliant to hear.
And now that the tram line has gone through there, is why some people are calling it Tramways.
It certainly makes sense.
Swans bringing it out of defence. It's a little bit small, a little bit narrower than it used to be because of that tram line. But it's still there and it's still a useful ground as the kick goes to the Swans half forward, McLean.
50.
And 50.
I don't know what that was for because he stood...
Did he put his arms up?
No, not that I saw.
Not that I didn't see it. Something must have been said then is all I can think of. But Hayden McLean will go to the goal square and will kick his second goal. Will he? Oh, I think he has, but only just. He tried to boot it into the city and almost missed. But he's got his second here, Hayden McLean.
The Coburg players were definitely asking about that 50 to the umpire. They're not really too sure what happened there, but
10 goal scorers now for the Swans. And they're out to a game-high lead of 45 points, which, well, we thought at quarter time, or halfway through the first quarter, we thought 45 would be a good result for Coburg, and now they're probably going to be disappointed.
Yeah, they've blown them out this last quarter. Just around the grounds, we've got three-quarter time. We've got Brisbane Lions 5-7-37, Seagulls 4-8-32.
They kicked 2 goals in the first 3 minutes of that quarter, Brisbane Lions, and then no more for either team.
Fantastic. And 14-minute mark of the second quarter, Richmond 4-10 and Essendon 2-3.
And I think if you look closer to that, you'll find the Tigers have kicked 8 points in a row.
Wow.
So some work to do there with their accuracy as Clark goes off the ground to half forward off front spot. That's a really good mark taken there. Not such a good kick. And it's been chopped off. I think that was Bartholomeus for the Swans, but it was Jepson who chopped it. McAvoy has it knocked away from him by Gould and sees it happily go over the line.
Coming up to the 22-minute mark of this final quarter, and as I said before, I think it's the fitness level of the AFL list of players that have really helped Sydney in this last quarter.
Yeah, they've run it out well. Both teams, of course, coming off the bye. The Lions, of course, a couple of little injury issues as we see Golden bring it back inboard. Here is Clark to Roberts. Probably 60 between them now. Sam Reid would be up to probably about mark number 13 or 14. Goes long inside 50. Amati's got the jump at this. Can't take the mark front and centre. Ronk put it over the top. Sinclair, can he gather? Does. Back to Amati. Worried over the line by Mayborn. Well done.
Reid 12 marks, Amati 11.
There's a big difference there, isn't there?
McAvoy 6.
Would be the leader for Coburg, I would have thought.
And Ryan Clark now 34 disposals.
Matt Roberts would be well into the 20s as well as Anderson. Got it to Ronk. Taylor through traffic. And his little outside banana kick was too much of a curve.
Yeah, Roberts 25, Taylor 25, Robbie Fox 23. He's had quite a few possessions. And
he'd have a few marks to his name too by now, I would have thought.
5. And Gentili the most for the Lions for 23.
Been very good. Been very good. Long ball. Fox again! Couldn't bring it down this time. He's trying to take mark of the year in front of his old fans. He might have already done it once. Anderson gets the kick back inside 50. Tracking it here is Morrison. Fed it up to Ronk. Gave it to Reid. Thought about having a shot. Has Amati. The handball wasn't good. Now he's under the pump, Amati. Loses possession of the football, but he wasn't being tackled at the time. And Coburg might get out of it. Shipley on the 50. Sends it back from where it came. Big pack to fly. Ball thumped to ground. Just says, get out of here, football. Does Max Thompson. Goes up towards half-back. Silvestro. They made a meal of that, Sydney. Boucher busts the line. Well done. Kicks out to the wing. Dintina Sante with courage. Runs onto it beautifully. Can go all the way. Give us another highlight. Dintina Sante!
Good boy.
Super football by the young West Preston Lakeside boy.
I really like him, Jonty. He's an absolute goer. He's got pace.
Second goal and both big highlights in this game.
How Sydney didn't get a goal from that, I think they just tried to do too much, didn't they? I think Reid probably just should have had a shot himself.
Trying to be a bit unselfish, Reid, but they attacked him. They came at him, made him second-guess himself, and then his handball was just a little bit too high for Amati.
Yep.
So that was Coburg refusing to give up, even though the game's long gone.
They've done that all day. Their determination has been incredible.
Yeah, so they're going down, and they're going to stay in 20th spot on the ladder. Unless, of course, Essendon can find a win against Richmond, and they've just kicked another goal at the MCG. But I think percentage might still be in favour of Coburg anyway. But the Lions, as I've said, on countless occasions, are a better team than this, than 1 and 6.
Yep.
The fixture doesn't get a lot easier for them in the back end of the year. I think they play a lot of top teams too. Clark will come forward for Sydney. Kicks towards the goal square. Reid all over it. Umpire doesn't pay the mark this time. And the Lions defence get it through for a behind.
I don't know. I reckon that was a mark.
That was a mark. But they've made them bring them to ground all day. To be fair.
Yep.
Baddeley Kelly goes with the barrel. And he didn't really hit it, and it still landed in the centre circle for McAvoy to take the mark. Plays on quickly, goes towards half-forward. Gould arrives, gives away the free kick this time. It'll be taken by Nelson. So we're deep in the final quarter here. Nelson runs, goes for goal. That's a good-looking kick. They only needed to shepherd it through the Lions. Dintina Sante!
Oh, he's done it again.
Oh, he might get 3 of the top 6 goals of this round.
Oh, that's fantastic. Front and centre.
Classic forward pockets goal, that one.
Yep. He's only a little fella, but my goodness, he's a goer.
178 centimetres, 80 kilos, Josh Dintina Sante. Just 20 years of age. He's kicked 3 goals today. Just his 10th game at VFL level. He came in with 1-5 for the season. He's kicked 3 straight today.
Wow.
He's up to 10 goals in his 10th game.
Good on him.
We were told at the start of last year by Seb Spaniolo that he was one to keep an eye out for. And he showed signs early last year. As I said, he then fractured his elbow against Collingwood in a narrow loss over at Victoria Park, which I was at. And this is really the first time he's really getting back to somewhere near the level he was at when he got hurt. As the Lions will break out of the middle again. Can they win 3 quarters? They're a couple of goals away from that yet. Swierzbelek goes to half forward. Melican backs himself. The bounce doesn't go to his advantage. Gould's gone. Umpire says play on. Bunker receives from Nelson. Kicks up to full forward. Dintina Sante's there again. Stevens ducks under a tackle. Rankin fires it out wide to Shipley. He goes short by hand to Fox. He goes long by hand to Clark. Sizes up his options and gives it to Taylor. Just starting to get away from Gillard, who's done a fine job since quarter time. Plays on to Stevens. Goes across the half-forward line. Not a good kick. Mark taken by Jepson. Moves it quickly, Jepson. To the outer wing. McAvoy holds his feet, takes the mark and goes. Inside 50. Dintina Sante grabbed hold of Mark Sheether.
He got a kick in the face too, I think.
Kick or a finger backwards or something like that, but it's definitely a free kick to Sheether. Goes short to Melican. Short again to O'Connor. It's developing nicely, the Irishman, the second Irishman on the Swans list, Barry O'Connor.
36 disposals now, Ryan Clark.
O'Connor doesn't get a lot of the football, but said learning, he's a very similar player to O'Riordan. They play on the half-back flanks when they're both here. Of course, O'Riordan played last night. Stevens went short and found Golden. Given the hurry up. Knocked away by Max Thompson on the short ball. Has to go back and get it himself. Did so. Backwards goes Boucher. And he'll get it back from Walker. Little hand pass through. Max Thompson. They're working this well. No, the Swans have got the turnover. Melican. He's caught. Just managed to get it out in time to Ronk. Arriving there was Golden. Kicks towards half forward. Here's Reed. Boots it inside 50. Waiting for it to bounce was Morrison. Waiting for him to grab it was Exon. Dives over the top does Ryan Exon. And it'll be a ball up 53 metres out from the Swans' goal.
Going back to the Irishman, we know Sydney over the years have liked a few of the Irish players.
Yeah, Toy Kennelly.
Yep.
First Irishman to win an AFL premiership. Long ball out of defence came from Corelliano. Dintina Sante in the front spot. Gives it up to Bunker. Now to Charlie Thompson. Steps around one. And that is very clever from Charlie Thompson. And the last act of the day will be Coburg's best player, Flynn Gentile. And he has kicked 1 goal, 1 so far today and really deserves a second. If he does, the Lions will have kicked the last 3 and brought it back inside that 5-goal mark again.
Yep.
So Flynn Gentile to finish it off, and the goal umpire doesn't move. That is a much-deserved late goal for Flynn Gentile and Coburg. But the Sydney Swans are the team who takes the chocolates here at Wurundjeri Woiwurrung Piranha Park on Sir Doug Nicholls round in round 9 this afternoon. It is the Swans winning by 29 points, 17 goals 13, 115. They kicked 3 goals 5 in the last quarter. Coburg kicked 3 goals 3 in that term to finish on.